Welcome back to a brand new live stream on the channel. Fizz, my friend, very good to see you. Beam, Selflex, good to see you as well. Andreas, Martins, Jason, Matt, Brian T, Rich, RK, good to see everyone in the chat, bro. Good to see the OGs. Jobin, good to see you as well, my friend. DC, BB King, good to see everyone in the chat, guys. Hope you guys are having a decent day. Dominance right now has been rejected of the 15-day moving average, so which is obviously very, very good for us. Ideally, if dominance can start falling now, you are going to see a broader rise across the altcoins. But like I said, until dominance has a sustainable dump, altcoins will not get the flavor that most people are expecting when BTC is at 120k. Previous level it hit 123k, which I think it was that resistant, I'm pretty sure, from the TA that some of my guys are telling me in the group. Hippo is pumping, bit pump is coming. Perfect. I actually put a trade alert on Hippo not too long ago, and it did have a very nice pump, and I was confused to why it pumped, but people that took the trade made some decent money from here or from down here. It was around a 20 to 30% pump, so that's very, very good to see for people holding that coin. Moving averages indicator setting, I don't know what that means. Fantastical, good to see you as well. Good to see you, my friend. Sound is okay and bullish. That's very, very good. Thank you, Martins, for letting me know, brother. Simon, good to see you as well, bro. How you been? Jay, good to see you. I don't even know how to pronounce your name, bro, but Human, good to see you as well. Chirp pump 50% overnight. Yeah, chirp will pump. You got to understand money flow in crypto. Money flow is very, very important because not only does it teach you a bit of patience, it teaches you how the crypto cycles work. So, the money initially goes into Bitcoin, and that's why we always see Bitcoin leading the charge. And then at some point when Bitcoin looks like it's stalling, money starts to flow into the high caps, which at the moment, the money is already starting to flow into the high caps. It's very, very obvious. Look at C from the lows has pumped over 2x. You look at where's some of the other high caps on this list. Let me see. Is Injective on here or no? Where's Injective? Oh, Injective's not on here. Hold on. You look at Injective, very decent pump off the lows. Ondo, decent pump off the lows. So the money is flowing into the high cap now. Oh shit, hold on. I did the wrong thing. Money is flowing into the high caps at the moment. So if your low cap, mid cap, whatever you want to call it, is not pumping at the moment, that is because they will pump a few weeks after the market has, fully taken off. So Bitcoin can obviously still go higher, but in the short term, until the inflation numbers come out tomorrow, I don't really think Bitcoin is really going to do anything. It's just going to stall at the same level and then wait for clarity tomorrow. So you guys can see core inflation is forecasted to actually go higher, back up to 3%. Now, obviously, if it does come in lower, then what you're going to expect the market to actually rally a lot higher. Inflation is actually forecasted to come in higher as well, from 2.4 to 2.7. So, I wouldn't be surprised if inflation does go higher, because if you look at trueflation from the 1.5 region, it did spike back up to the 2.2 region, and then now is well below 2. I think it's 1.6 right now, so I can probably double check on them. Let's go on truth. I think it's 1.6. I showed you on the last stream actually. I don't need to do it again. So yeah, and then we got PPI on Wednesday as well. So, but PPI is not as important. I think CPI is more important. So PPI also expected to come in on Wednesday, which at the moment they're forecasting for it to stay the same, which is good. You want PPI to stay the same. So inflation numbers tomorrow, definitely stay tuned for that. Make sure I will be live tomorrow as well, just to go over the inflation numbers, see how the market will obviously react. Boys, smash the like button as well while you're at it. Smash the like button while you're at it. But yeah, there's a lot of macro stuff we can talk about. So I think one of the ones that we need to talk about is the 30 years. So you guys can see the 30 years is almost at 5%. It did go above 5%, and Oftentimes when the 30-year goes to about 5%, you do get a little scare in the markets, because what it does is it basically makes mortgages more expensive. It makes borrowing costs more expensive as well. And there's a few ways to solve this. One of the ways to actually solve this is to end QT, and I do think that is around the corner, because when QT is happening, the long end of the yield curve tends to go up. The 30-year always goes up, because at the moment investors are demanding a higher return to take on the debt risk. And the reason people don't really want to hold debt for 30 years specifically is because smart people know that the printers will keep running, forever, until the whole system collapses. So because of that, people are de-risking from the 30 years or any bonds in general, and they either want higher returns, maybe 5.2, 5.3, whatever percent, and then they lock in the yield there. So every single time it hits this percentage, it tends to come back down. And one of the best ways to stop this from rising aggressively is to end QT. And that is something that's on the cards, I think, within the next couple of months, I would say. If it doesn't happen this month, then it will most likely happen in September, in my opinion. Because obviously there's no meeting in August. So August, there won't really be much happening. So that's going to be very, very important to see if the Fed will end QT or not. At the moment, we don't know. But if this goes up 5%, like I said, it does cause concern for the economy. I think this might be like a 2020 shin where BTC just steals the show, tops, and then altcoin. Yeah, that's normally what happens anyways, T13. In 2017, what really happened was, BTC had the rally, obviously, but at a later stage, the Fed ended QT, and that's when altcoins had a massive rally. And I think the same setup is going to play out now. We're going to get a massive pump in BTC, also slightly follow, but obviously they will underperform BTC. Let's say on average they do, right? And then QT will end, because the long end, the 30-year, it is looking weak. The Fed will have to end QT to bring this back down, and then we get a broader rally, and then we get a massive crash afterwards. That's most likely what's going to happen. BF, good to see you as well, buddy. Is Hint a good buy? Hint is actually a good buy. And if you follow them on Twitter, these guys just non-stop develop. Bring your everyday app to Claude, and then Hive is on there. So they're going to bring Hive on there as well. You guys can see, imagine your favorite chat interface, knowing everything about crypto, on-chain data, social intel, price action. That's basically what Hive does. These guys are consistently working, and I do think more and more. I think once their main product is out, which is not out at the moment, when it comes out, the CEO did say they're going to be expanding to the Solana chain, the Binance chain, and then a few other chains. So some of the top chains. Sensei is doing a hackathon. So if anyone is interested in doing a hackathon, you guys can get a nice prize pool of 10K. And these are very, very good, because hackathons are, let's say Sensei wants to build a product and they need some help from developers. What they do is they put a hackathon on, and those developers build what they want them to build, and then they win the prize, and then they start to use what the product that they've been built. So it's very, very good. I think this is a very good move from Sensei to develop and improve their already working product. Art Trade, which has been performing really, really well. They've just integrated credit card market on the payment on their marketplace, which is quite good. You get a bit of Web 2 and Web 3 action. So what about OTK? I still hold OTK. I think it will do well. It's been doing well fairly. It's been doing fairly well recently. But you got to keep in mind, gaming, when it comes back, I think OTK will be one of the top performers. And in the last 40 days, it's up 60%, which is quite impressive for a gaming coin, because majority of gaming coins have not been doing shit. So the OTK had like a 3x pump from the lows, or 2.5x, and then just had a little correction now. So, and it probably will go higher after this correction is done. But ultimately, I think when gaming comes back, I think OTK will perform well. But it has to be a gamble. It has to be a gamble, because gaming is not guaranteed to come back. But even then, OTK will still perform, because there will still be money flowing into gaming at some point. Will FUD explode? I look, if I do think SUI will continue to go higher, and if SUI does go higher, then FUD has no reason not to follow SUI. So I did trade this last time, and it did fairly well. Nothing crazy, but it did pump a decent amount in April times when the market got a little bit bullish. I did trade it, and I do think it will pump. Yes, it will pump with SUI. When the main chain pumps, the ecosystem always follows. That's how it works. Scrub, good to see you, bro. Is STBU RWA hidden gem? I do hold some STBU. I think it's a good low cap RWA coin. It's a slow mover. Don't expect this to do a 5x randomly, but keep in mind the way you have to think with these low caps is about the narrative. If you know RWA is bullish, then the reality is what you should do is position yourself before the RWA narrative explodes. That's why we hold, a decent amount of RWA coins in our portfolio. And RWA is getting mass adopted. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. It's quite, at the moment, it's like the start of RWA. We haven't really reached even the medium point yet. So, this is not a bad low cap coin in terms of RWA. The volume's a bit shit, so you can't put too much into it. You just chuck in a small amount and that's it. Look at this. No dilution. Team is still working. And I think once the RWA narrative comes back, this will obviously pump. You have a bullish day today. Yep. I'm always bullish, bro. What do you think about Altura? CEO is nowhere and the senior developer seems to have minted coins to sell privately. Look, a lot of these gaming coins, you have to keep this in mind. A lot of these gaming coins, they have no funding. The team gets bored, they stop developing, and then if the CEO is probably dead or something, if it can't be heard of, then of course the developer is going to take full advantage and just look what he's been doing. He's just been rugging the shit out of this for the last 3-4 months, and maybe this pump was artificially done to create one last exit plan. People got to remember about stuff like this. Crypto projects are not all legit. Some of these projects would just want quick money, even though Altura has been around for multiple cycles. But they probably, because gaming's so dead, they probably just moved on. They probably will just go join another project. So I wouldn't take the risk. If the developers minting new tokens and then selling it privately, then the reality is you should not be investing into that token. Bosom, Arweave, Hint, and Peak. Yeah, that's a good list. Arweave is solid, Hint is solid, and Peak is solid. Peak is fundamentally strong, but for me, Peak is a bear market play. I will be buying Peak in a bear market. I just don't see the incentive of buying it now with the harsh unlocks. If the Peak did not have the harsh unlocks, then I would be incentivized to buy. But the unlocks are not really the problem. Is how much the investors are up. So private guys 13%. The pre-launch guys are 9% of the supply. Pre-seed 7%. Community sales done. Seed is 5%. That's a big chunk of the supply in the hands of early investors, and they get their tokens now till at the end of 2026 damn near. So there's a quite a large range of unlocks that's going to be happening every single day. And if you're smart, like a lot of these VCs are, you're going to be selling every single day because you're up a decent amount. So Peak is good and all. I think it's a phenomenal project, but as an investment, I just don't see why people would buy Peak now. When if you look at the early investors, the private round are up approximately 7x. You can imagine these guys are up around maybe 10x, and you can imagine the pre-seed up between 10 to 15x. So it's one of those where if the volume is good, which the volume is starting to pick up a little bit, it can obviously absorb the unlocks, but you guys can see every single spike gets sold off, which is not really good because it just means that every single pump, the early investors are dumping it. If you want something with good tokenomics with no unlocks, Hint is a good one because the unlocks are not going to affect the chart realistically. Just look at the unlocks. Is really, really good unlocks because the public sale, which was 35% of the supply, has already been distributed. Strategic has already been distributed. Team gets their token in like 170 days, which is, you know, time away, is only ecosystem development and liquidity and sex, which, you know, equates to £2,000 or dollars a day. And then you look at the unlocks. I mean, you look at the volume. You know, you have to look at the volume. If the volume's good, then those unlocks, just, you know, 1.1 million volume, 2K a day, that's going to get absorbed. You know, it's not even going to affect the chart. And then if you look at this chart for the last year or the last 3 months, it's just steadily going up. You know, it goes up, has little dumps, goes up, has little dumps, and it's steady going up. So it went up, had a little dump, and it will probably continue higher along with BTC. Do I think Polytrade can go back to his? I don't think he'll go back to his all-time high. Just because for Polytrade to go back to his all-time high, let's go look at it right now. Hold on. The best way to look, don't look at price, because price is not a good indication of how well a project will do. Price is not a good indication. You have to look at market cap. So you look at Polytrade. At the peak, it reached $90 million in market cap, and that was in 2024, the big cycle in 2024. So can he reach his all-time high? I don't really think that's possible. Can he reach 30-40 million in market cap? I think that's more reasonable for Polytrade. But Polytrade has been working, and I don't think it's a bad project. If BTC hits 150K, would you still exit the market even though your odds did not pump that hard? No, I wouldn't. I would exit my high caps, and I would exit some BTC at that price. Of course, I would. You know, I've been holding BTC for years now, so I will be selling maybe a few Bitcoin, maybe one or two, maybe, I don't know, and then I'll probably buy back some. But I would definitely be selling my high caps at that price, because the high caps will follow Bitcoin. Some of the low caps will as well. So some of the fast movers like ATR, it will follow Bitcoin. Some coins just do that. Meme coins tend to do that, and then some utility coins tend to do that. So, you know, this is one of the ones that tend to move very, very fast in terms of price action. From the lows, it's up over 2x. You know, so that's quite impressive, considering dominance is at damn near the all-time highs. So when dominance drops, you're going to see a little bit more price action in that project. So look at dominance, it's starting to come down slowly. So yeah, like I said, Bitcoin is not really going to do anything until tomorrow data's come out. And then if the data comes in bad, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a retest of, you know, this trend line here, 114, 115K. That's still on the cards, guys. Hold OFN long time. What do I think about it? Oh, I don't think OFM is a bad project. I haven't been keeping track of it. I like but it's like, the thing is, OFN was good once upon a time because it was kind of new. The data stuff was new, but now there's so many people doing data now, and there's tens of other projects that do it 100 times better than OFN. So I don't, you know, you'd rather hold it because everything will probably pump in the next couple of months. But personally, I don't recommend holding it or buying it now. Do I think that the rotate into ETH and that BTC will outperform ETH? I don't really think so now. I don't think BTC will outperform ETH from now, bro. A lot of smart money is going into ETH now, to be honest with you. So I don't really see how Bitcoin will outperform ETH, especially when Bitcoin is at 120K, bro. So, you know, ETH is barely breaking 3K, barely. It's just about broke 3K. So, you know, this was the resistance level for ETH. It has broken above, which is obviously very good. Let me have a look at how ETH BTC is looking. I have not looked at ETH BTC in a while. Yeah, ETH BTC is stuck at the 200-day moving average. So you ideally want this to get above and hold above. You know, at the moment it's getting stuck or getting rejected off the 200-day moving average. Do I still hold Base AI? I've never really held Base AI. I traded it, but I've never really held it. Never held Base AI, my friend. I put a trade on it. Well, I didn't really put an alert on it, but I bought it at like 2.5, and then sold at like 9, and then just left the moon bag. I hold my moon bag, but in terms of like an actual bag like that I've held for a long time, no, not really. I've never really held it like that. I mean, it was good at once upon a time, but you know, if like I said, if the team does not do the basics, then the project's not really going to do much. In Q4, Q1 2026. It can, but if the market tops now, or the market, you know, pumps aggressively now, then the Q4 I don't, maybe early Q4. I don't know about late Q4. And 2026 I'll probably say is off the cards. But I wouldn't really focus too much on gaming, but prop base a good buy, Nuclei is a good buy, O is a good buy, Brickin, Sensei, Chirp, and Snift. What do I think about it? I wouldn't go too much deep in my friend at degen, because the degens are going to pump last. What I would do is, because look, you don't need to hold OTK, NACA, and Snift because they're all part of the same similar narrative. Hold maybe OTK and maybe Snift as like a low cap, high risk, high reward, and then get like a high cap in your portfolio. You need more RWAs actually. You probably need more RWAs. I think RWA and AI is going to be the biggest narrative. So, and then by the way, alt guys, they've got a new marketing director, and I think I'm part of the marketing team now as well. But they had an AMA today, and I was listening to it. They said they got a new chain expansion coming. They got the launchpad, the data hub launchpad coming next week. They've got new marketing lead, so obviously the marketing is going to be a lot better now. So I think they realize now their marketing is shit. So they got a new marketing lead. They said they got more listings coming as well because they want to increase the liquidity. And they said that they got some top level exchanges reaching out to them that they want to list them. So they said that all of this is coming between Q3 and Q4. So we're already in Q3. So they said they got a massive Q3 and Q4 coming. So those people, that don't have the patience to hold it. Well, I know a lot of people I know for a fact, a lot of people does not have the patience. They probably sold it already. But the people that hold it, there is quite a lot of good stuff coming for alt. So, it is a slow mover, but like I said, when the narrative takes off, it will just explode like it did in November, December. It's all about narratives. Crypto is all about narratives. It's not about individual coins. There's obviously going to be meme coins or some AI agents that's naturally going to pump in the markets because they have good market makers. But the hardcore utility coins, they focus more on building than marketing. But it seems that alt's realizing now that their marketing is shit. So they've got a new marketing lead. And I've also joined the marketing team as well. So we're going to get a bunch of big KOLs to start pushing it when the time is right. So, those that have patience will reap the rewards. What is this? NVG8. Navigate. This looks like a deep in coin, bro. 400k market cap, 6 million volume. This doesn't look the best. Had a fucking crazy spike. What the fuck? It's a crazy spike. Some fucking rock spike that is. Okay, so it's a data coin. Your favorite songs that must see your top interest. What the fuck is this, bro? Your website's actually weird. It's a lot of animation for a website, though. Fucking hell. Customize your navigate. The more data you contribute to navigate, the more your navigator learns your data, habits, interests, one of a kind fluctuate. It's not. So they don't really have a product at the moment. It's a game. LLM robotics. It doesn't even look that bad, bro. You have to check the vesting schedule, but this website is fucking weird, bro. Decentralized AI. Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. It's a base play. I think base will do very well, but this scam wick just throws me off, bro. It's a massive scam wick. What's up with rights? Fuck knows, but rights is shit. Opinion X is that hold on. Was it AXL? Oh yeah, this is a very good project, bro. I like this project. I think it'll do very well as a mid cap to / high cap. I think this will do phenomenal. I think this is these guys are surprisingly have an ETF coming for them, which is a bit weird. I never even thought of that. But also Injective as well has a stake in ETF apparently being filed. Boys, hit the likes, bro. What the fuck? How do we only have 24 likes? That's crazy, bro. I know alts are fucked right now. The market is starting to heat up, bro. Just hit the likes. It takes 2 seconds, and I would appreciate it loads. This is how you know the market's starting to slowly, people are starting to slowly come into it because Bitcoin in June was 20, now is becoming 23, and over the next couple of months, you're going to start to see this increase. You guys can see is increased every time. So in 2024, the peak is 41, and then it went back up to, because of Trump, went back up to 46, and then now it'll probably go up to like 48, 50, and that could be the top for this cycle. Who knows? Or it might go slightly higher. Who knows? You know, it might go up here, but I don't really think it'll go up here. It's very unlikely. I think between 48 to about 50 could mark the top, maybe even 55, let's say max. Wait to DCA. I would wait till tomorrow. Just wait for the data to come out. If the data is a bit bearish, then like I said, you could get a pullback. You could get a pullback to maybe one back off this trend line and then bounce. So just wait for the data to come out. I wouldn't risk, 1 day before inflation numbers coming out to DCA. You'd rather just wait and not take the risk, because if it does, because it is forecasted to come in higher. So if it does come in higher, then the reality is the market will have some sort of pullback. That's the reality. I just don't see how inflation will come in higher though, if trueflation is saying that it's gone back down below the 2% region. Would you buy MA or Bluefin as a small cap DFIN play? I probably would buy Bluefin. I would rather buy Bluefin because it's a little bit more safer, and because CETA's got fucked, Bluefin probably get a little bit more attraction on Sui. Good to see you, buddy. Dyson, good to see you. Tim, good to see you as well. How you doing, Tim, my friend? Hope you've been well. Is Sensei reaching for you? Order by a Lambo. Hold by a Lambo. Oh, actually, guys, just for some alpha for you guys, for a quick trade, obviously, House of Crypto is going to be dropping a low cap video tomorrow. So for those of you guys that are smart, you guys know what low caps he buys or holds. He holds Sensei. Of course, he's going to talk about Sensei, and Sensei is probably going to have a nice little rally tomorrow. He's also going to be talking about ATR. ATR is already pumped, but he's still going to talk about it. Might pump a bit more, because there's always going to be some people that just want to buy green candles. He's going to be talking about Bricken. So, any of these are definitely going to be a trade for tomorrow. At the same time, he could also mention Lingo is a possibility. And the reason I say that is because you look at how Lingo has been performing the last month, it's just completely flat. Hasn't done anything. So, very likely he might mention it because he hasn't moved and he does hold in his portfolio. So that's always a chance. So I have bought a little bit of this for a trade in case he mentions it, because House of Crypto is a big YouTuber. He can really move coins. Keep that in mind. And then he did say he's going to talk about MLC as well. He says he's going to talk about some low cap gaming, and I know this is the only low cap gaming he holds, I'm pretty sure. But I don't really want to buy gaming coins right now. Is Rio still solid RWA? Rio is still a solid RWA, yes. One thing about Rio that's kind of stalling the price action is basically they had their wallet that's supposed to come out, but they're waiting for the App Store to accept it and list it on the App Store. So that's what they're waiting for. That's probably why it has not really pumped that much as it normally does. But it's still a solid play, yes. Do I think Cogni AI is BS? Let's have a look. Cogni AI. Is it BS? It's not even out yet. Let's have a look at what this is. Imagine the future. Cogni AI. So it's pre-sale right now. Transforming interaction, enhancing visuals, driving limitless innovation, experience AI technology. Okay. So natural language processing. Fun. So AI token generates built. Okay, so it is on the AI 16 framework. That's good. Revolutionary token creations. Okay, so first of all, this is bullshit. Anytime I see shit like this, I don't like, because how many fucking launchpads do we need? How many AI agents launchpads do we need? We got fucking hundreds already, so we don't need another one. So that's bullshit. AI agent generator, another bullshit. Customize, create powerful AI agent, effortlessly tailored task enhance. Well, there's like 100 other projects that do this as well. So yeah, these are, look, this is basic stuff now. This could have done well in fucking 2022, 2023. These kind of stuff now are just basic AI stuff. Like every project does it. So I don't really think this is a good project. But he's on base. It could pump because he's on base. Actually, I don't even know if he's on base. Artificial solutions. Yeah, look, it's just basic stuff. Realistic imagery. Pre-sales 50%, which means very likely is going to dump loads off launch. Very, very likely it will. Look, fucking team's a little kid, bro. Yeah, I wouldn't trust this, bro, honestly. It probably, I don't know. I wouldn't trust some little kid as the dev. Thoughts on Imperial. I'm only going to do a quick 1 hour live, guys. There's not really much to really talk about today. We just have to wait for the data to come out tomorrow, and then we'll go over some of the macro stuff tomorrow. But at the moment, there's not really much to talk about. Bitcoin's obviously bullish right now. Damn, only 300. That's not bad still. That's very good supply. Intelligent infrastructure for Web3 enables Web3 DeFi, autonomous agents, real-time data streaming. Yeah, it doesn't even look that bad. Layer 0, LogX as well. Okay. Actually, by the way, guys, LogX just they're going to be expanding to RWA very soon. SDK overview. Yeah, this shit is these type of projects you're gonna have to look into a little bit further. I can't really give you because there's not really much on the website, is it? No docs theme either. I'll probably skip this one, but honestly. Oh yeah, the nice rally though. Damn. Yeah, they're pretty decent rally. They probably will rally again, but like I said, the first wave of a pump is never going to be the same as the second wave. Thoughts on Seapool? Seapool solid. Seapool is a very solid RWA coin. You can't really go wrong with Seapool. Is Bricken a good buy? Will they drop the news? Bricken is a good buy today. Yes, they said they're gonna have a solid Q end of the year. Bricken did so. I think they're just waiting on timing. I don't really personally think right now it's not a good time to actually market because, like I said, you look at altcoin season versus BTC season, right? Chart. Click on this. It's not really our season yet. So yesterday it was 27, or the last time I streamed, it was 27. It's now 33. So we haven't even got to the middle point yet of Bitcoin season or alt season. So it is in early stages. You normally get to see a decent rally. You know, we kind of have to break past this resistance right here. And then look how we broke this resistance, retested it, and then we exploded back up to alt season. You know, so that's you know, when you have doubts, I think this is probably the best chart to look. This is the best chart to look at. Whenever you're in doubt, just have a look at this chart. There's always going to be some sort of decent pump for alts. And if you believed in that, you would have been doing very well the last 5 months because you would have accumulated. And now you're in a much better position than a lot of the bears that was waiting for some stupid prices for Bitcoin. I want a bit of checks. There's a FUD justified, or should I flip it to the back? I haven't looked into the FUD. Can you explain to me what a FUD is, please? What do you think about Strike? A lot of people bought it for $2. I'm not really against Strike. I don't think it's a bad project. It's not a bad RWA coin. And the reason it's not is this one right here, STRK. Oh, Starknet. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one, bro. These guys, look, this ZK as well. ZK, they fucked up the airdrops. And when people are using your chain, they're helping you with on-chain TVL, etc., and you pay them fuck all for the airdrop. What tends to happen is the community gets really pissed off, and the community fucks off pretty much. And that's what happened with this, and that's what happened with ZK as well. So they fucked up the airdrops, didn't give an airdrop for the people that was actually using their chain, and that's probably why this shit has just gone down consistently. I don't recommend buying it. If you want a layer 2 to Ethereum, just get Lightlink. You get the best of both worlds. You get a coin that's held up solid compared to most low cap alts. Look at the chart. If you got in here, just a few months ago, you not only would have been broke even, you probably would have been profits, and then it would just randomly explode up, just like it did over here. Because if you want something for the layer 2s, You'd rather get Lightlink. They're getting used. You know, the TVL is solid. The TVL is growing, and the market cap is solid. The vesting is solid. You know, if you want any layer twos, like I said, you rather get Lightlink. I don't really see why people would buy these high cap layer twos. You know, that narrative will come back, in my opinion, because when Ethereum pumps, the layer twos follow as well. Andy, good to see you as well. Mavia, don't recommend people buying gaming until there's like some sign of some life in gaming, bro. Like when you start seeing some of the high cap gaming coins start to pump, like the Manas, the Sandboxes, the Beams, then you could potentially buy some gaming coins. But at the moment, that's not really happening. So I don't really recommend buying gaming. There's like 1,000 gaming projects all gone to shit, bro. Honestly, so what I would do is I just don't recommend people buying gaming at the moment. Sal, good to see you, bro. How you doing, man? Sal, the OG. I think so, yeah. I think it'll reach its all-time highs again, bro. Price-wise, market cap-wise, definitely. Just because, like, what they were focused on mainly for this year, the first half of the year, was the data hub. The data hub, damn near, you know, they're getting so much users on there. Towards the end, they said that Q3, Q4, they're going to be focusing on the token price as well and the FTV. That's what they're going to. Lexa, how you doing, bro? Lexa, the OG as well. Emilio, good to see you. Appreciate your alpha, and we'll be joining your private group soon. Thoughts on ZBNC? Is it worth since all-time high market cap too? I don't really think so. No, if you got in at the lows, it was definitely worth. But it depends what you want in terms of gains. Obviously, this project is not going to give you a lot of gains because it already made its move. So if something's already made its move, there's no reason for you to jump on the boat. If you missed the boat was over here. This was the boat. If you missed the boat, I don't really recommend you buying over here. Can this go higher? Of course it can. It's a solid project. They've just acquired a whole company outside of crypto, which is always very good. That's what Ondo did recently as well. Like I said, if you want a 5x, I think this can probably give you a 5x. Could it push for a 10x? Of course it can. $3 billion is possible, is on the card. So it's one of those where you can chuck in a large amount of money and you'll pump with the RWA narrative. But like I said, if you want another mid-cap RWA coin, Redstone is a decent one. This is another good mid-cap RWA coin. And it's a lot lower in market cap. This has one of the highest TVLs in the entire crypto space. 5 billion TVL. All the tokenization that BlackRock is doing happens through Redstone. And it's so undervalued, it's crazy. 50 cents, 40. Well, yeah, of course it can. A 10x from here would put it at 40 cents. So it would be like a 12x. So I think it can, yes. Why wouldn't it? 4 cents now, 10x, 40 cents. Yeah, of course it can, but 50 cents is only a 12x away. Yeah, boys, smash the likes. Appreciate that right now. When a project lists on Binance, how many days? I would say you have on average a day, maybe a day and a half. That's it. Maybe 2 days max. Because what tends to happen is insiders. So let's say AI Tech gets listed on Binance next week. What will happen is you guys won't notice it. Insiders will start to accumulate large amounts, like down over here, right? They'll start to accumulate large amounts. And then what happens is you start to see the price go up. And then the rumors come out. And then when the rumors come out, the people that's in the Telegram groups, they start to buy. So then it starts to pump again. And then everyone hears about the rumors, the token spikes, and then Binance announces it. And when Binance announces it, it has another spike. And then after the listing has happened, it always tends to dump. So you want to be selling before the actual listing goes live. That's what I've been noticing with Binance listings. They pump on the announcement, and then on the listing, they always dump because Binance probably fucking dumps it, or the insiders that was accumulating down here, they start to dump before the announcement because they're smart. They understand after the listing is most likely going to dump. So that's how it normally works, my friend. 5 memes, coins, high risk, high reward. If you want some solid meme coins, get the main meme coin on every chain. So you can either get Lofi for Sui. Lofi is a good one for Sui. Hippo is a good one for Sui. I personally hold a Hippo and I hold Lofi as well, but they're more likely trades. If you want something on C, because I think C will do phenomenal, you look at CTVL, it is growing faster than most chains. So C, I think will do very well. So if you want something on the C ecosystem or the C Milli is a good one. 4 million market cap, very, very illiquid, very low volume. They don't fake the volume, which is obviously, I gotta give them props to that. A lot of projects fake their volume, but I would only chuck in a small amount into this. If C does really well, of course, the meme coin is going to do very well as well. C, what else? Let me think. What else is a good? Maybe Mr. Miggles or something on base. What's a good meme coin on base? Popcat is another good one. Obviously, it's not a low cap, but it's a good high cap meme. Mr. Miggles is another good one on base. So, and then get one on Solana. There's so many on Solana. I don't really know all of them, to be honest with you. This is another decent one on base. You kind of want to get one for each chain, each main token. But the thing with Solana is there's hundreds of them. Base, there's obviously quite a few now. C, there's not a lot. Sui, there's quite a few as well. And then maybe find one upcoming chain. Find one upcoming chain that you think will do very, very well. Maybe surprise people, and that's how you will make a nice return on the meme coin. It's kind of mad that you would made almost 10x on BTC. It's crazy, isn't it? And you would have kept your coin. You got Charles Hopkinson as your browser background. Yeah. Or this. this Charles, that Charles Hopkinson. You know what Charles did? He basically he sold a bunch of ADA to buy BTC, which is outrageous. I would be pissed if I was the community of ADA. I think G Swift is going to be the next gaming token to die. They're building a Peaky Blinders game. Not sure how they're going to do it with no funding and such garbage market cap. Yeah, look, G Swift or any gaming coin, I don't really see why you would, because the thing is, G Swift is like a mutable X for gaming. They don't really need to build. They ideally want people to build on G Swift. That's the whole point of G Swift, right? So it's like a hub for gaming. I don't really see why they would want to fucking build a Peaky Blinders game. It doesn't make sense. If they do get funding and they make the game, bro, no one's gonna fucking play it, bro. Let's be honest, bro. Look what happened to Nyan Heroes. Nyan Heroes had over $13 million raised, and they run out of that funding in like a year and a half. You already know they probably fucking pocketed half of that money, and then they probably developed a little bit of it, but most of it did not get developed. So I don't really. The only gaming coins you should buy, in my opinion, is either OTK, Naka, because they don't really need funding to develop their games. The games are easy, casual games. The gaming coins that struggle are the ones that's trying to build some really good game, because you need a lot of funding, you need a lot of devs. To build the games OTK build, probably takes them a week, 2 weeks, one or two developers. You don't really need too many people to build basic games like that. That's the type of, they're the ones that don't run out of funding and don't rug. Despite how shit gaming has become or been, OTK Naka has been doing fairly well. If you listen to other gaming coins, other people are telling you, most of them are just either rugged or gone to shits. So, there's with gaming is difficult. So basically, 4-year cycle intact and Fed QE. We'll start QE. QE won't be started anytime soon, 230. Won't be started anytime soon. You need rates to be 0 for QE to start. That could take maybe up until maybe early 2027 even. I'd rather go with Millie, bro. There's a lower end cap. But it's good to see you, my friend. How you been? Claim is checks fake. The partnership price action has been shit. Oftentimes, this happens all the time, right? And you guys know this yourself. If a project does not pump, people will come out with the most random FUD. I'm not saying checks is legit, because I've never really liked this project. But when the token don't pump, people will come out with any FUD, bro. Look at all hasn't pumped, and people will come out with the most random FUD team selling, doing all this bullshit. The reality is, they just have shit market makers. That's it. It's all about market makers in this space. Market makers push the price up with the market if you have good market makers, and then it brings the price down with the markets. You guys can see there's no selling pressure for alt. It's just no buy pressure. That's all it is. If there was selling pressure, it would have been coming down already. But no one's willing to sell. People are slowly accumulating. This chart does not look like it's dumping. It's just pretty much at this, just below the range lows it was in May, just slightly below. We'll probably get above this in a few days, anyways. But there's a few things they need to change, which I don't know if they're doing or not, but they said they are going to change. First of all, this is probably like 40 million, the FTV. I don't know why it's still 77. They need to get this shit changed. How the fuck is... I don't even know, bro. Oh, CoinGecko's bullshitting, bro. Is Crest Nation on base good or not? Bro, what kind of fucking coins are you telling me to look at, bro? Cresto Nation. Bro, what the fuck is this, bro? 200k market cap, 9 million FTV. That's a lot of dilution. Let's have a look at what it is. Okay, I don't... The concept is nice. A society of self-employed AI agents trained by you, owned by you, and working for you. This isn't the future, is what comes next, what comes after. Okay. Well, they don't even have a fucking product, do they? Oh, they do have some agents. Yeah, it's not too bad, actually. Revenue, 1 mil caps. Yeah, it seems none of these agents are really working. Yeah, I'm not bullish on shit like this, bro. I'm not really bullish on this. This is basic stuff, just another launchpad for AI agents. Look at your crystal ball, market cap of the top projects X from now. What's the top narrative you think will rip? My biggest narratives, and you can tell by how much adoption is happening on these narratives, is going to be AI and RWA. The reason I say that, and I think data is going to be a massive narrative at some point, because those who control data control the world. Everyone knows this. A lot of these big companies make trillions or billions off data. And I think once government starts to realize that, I think data is going to become a massive narrative in crypto as well, and outside of crypto as well. So I would say RWA, because everyone's tokenizing now. And I think tokenization will only get bigger and bigger. We're seeing a lot of big, UAE tokenized over 200 or 500 million worth of real estate. And real estate, because the average person cannot have access to it, is one of those, that's going to become mainstream, in my opinion. So RWA definitely is on the cards. On-chain stocks, bringing on stocks to on-chain is another way. Tokenizing stocks, these are bullish stuff that the biggest company in the world is trying to make mainstream. So I do think it will go mainstream. It's definitely the next step. So AI and RWA, in my opinion, will be the biggest. There will be a surprise narrative. It could be gaming. It could be deepin. AI and deepin will probably pump together. We had AI agents, a separate narrative in the AI sector, but AI agents are not going to have the same pump it did initially. So we'll probably get a broader AI pump, or like an AI deepin pump like we did in 2023, 2024. And obviously RWA is going to be the biggest narrative. Memes will obviously pump. Memes will always be a narrative in crypto now. You cannot deny it. I used to deny it, but it's impossible to deny that meme coins are... you have to hold or trade meme coins, because they move a lot faster than the utility coins. I tend to just buy them, make 30, 40%, 2x, and just fucking get rid of them, bro, and then move on to the next one. GLQ dead project. I've explained GLQ many times on this channel. It's not a bad project, and I do hold a moon back from fucking 2022 times. However, it's one of those projects, and what they tend to do, and this is why I don't like them, because their own narrative is dead. What they oftentimes do is they chase specific narratives. So what was this before? This was just a dApp maker, no code dApp, which it done very well back in the days, 2022, 2023. Why? Because there wasn't many AI coins or dApps, whatever, right? So now they've done create dApps, so they've kept the old narrative, launch your own coins, so they've jumped on the launchpad narrative, build bots, and design AI agents. So then, what these guys are doing is they just jumping onto the narrative like 6 months down the line. So if you, like I explained before as well, soon when RWA pumps, you're gonna fucking see GLQ 6 months later in the bear market talking about, yeah, you can start tokenizing now. You can start tokenizing AI agents and all this other shit. They just jump from narrative to narrative to narrative, but like 6 months after they're already pumped. And that's why, back in September, it didn't really do too much. It pumped like 3x, which is not a lot. For a low cap project, you would want this to pump a lot more during the September phase to December phase. And that is because the narrative is dead. If the narrative is not there, then there's no point you being in that token. Why did I get into Sensei and all? Because there was in the AI agent narrative. I predicted the AI agent narrative fucking 6 months before it even happened. Because what you have to look for narratives. I've explained this so many times. Do not look for individual coins, look for narratives. Because when the narrative hits, it doesn't matter what that coin is. It could be fucking shit deep in. The name could be shit deep in. It will still pump 5x because people will go on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, and they'll look for something that hasn't pumped. They'll just plow money into it because everyone else will follow afterwards. That's how the market works now. It doesn't work by individual coins. Just because a coin does not pump now doesn't mean, when the narrative comes, it's not going to pump. It will explode with a narrative. Look for coins that have multiple narratives and have the right narratives. And the main reason, like I said, this didn't pump is because they didn't have AI agents down here. If they had this, what they're building now, if they had last year, it would have done a lot better than this. It probably would have done a 10x. So look for narratives, my friend. And I don't really see how the GLQ narrative will come back. I think AI agents will pump anyway, so it might have a little rally. But this GLQ is old, bro. Like, come on. It's old. The time to buy GLQ was down here in 2022 times, 2023 times, or down here in 2022. This was the time to buy. Now it's just I don't really see it as a good project personally. Walaikum salam, my friend. How you doing? Good to see you. Brian T, good to see you. Eve hit 3K. Eve hit 3K time ago, bro. It almost hit 3.1 actually. Yeah, 3.1. More 3x on a few meme coins. Pingu, Mog. Should I take initials out now? Yes. Take initials out because Pingu, Mog, these are high cap memes, and the whales, they go heavy. And like I said, bro, when we go heavy, the whales, when they go heavy, they don't fucking wait around for 5x or 10x. They get a 2 to 3x and they get the fuck out. Because they've gone heavy. They'll just go chase the next pump. They'll find the next token to buy. You don't, if you have 3x on both of them, congrats. But I would definitely start to DCA out, bro. It's a high cap meme. And look at Pingu, bro. Pingu's in the billions now. How much room does it really have? So I would definitely look to DCA out, maybe get initials out, take some profits out, get maybe leave like a 20-30% meme bag in them because they're not low cap memes. And then look to rotate your money into something that has not pumped yet. Do I think Nuclei will hit? I don't think it will hit his all-time high, but Nuclei will do very well, bro. Like what they're building is really, really good. And their product will be out this month. And if you guys got in a dip, it did dip a decent amount, and now it's recovered fairly well. So yeah, it's a decent pump. But their product is coming out very soon. And I think it will do very, very well. But they already have big KOLs. The website is nice, big ecosystem. It's just people are waiting for the product so they know it's legit. Because, what happened to Nuclei a few days ago when it did dump is basically they've been promising this product, their mainnet. Their testnet is already out. People can go try it out, right? But people want the mainnet because the mainnet brings a lot more utility to the token. So once the mainnet is out and companies are using it, it requires the token. So and then you start to see better price action as well. So people are, because they keep delaying it, people, they kind of lost the conviction which they're obviously starting to come back now because the token's recovering pretty nicely. But once the mainnet is out, and I do think it will do very well. If it goes, you got to keep in mind, for this to go back to his all-time high, which it reached 32 million, which is pretty decent. But you look at the max, don't look at the price, because from here to here, there's a lot of dilution that's happened. So do not look at price, my friend. If you look at price and we go to max, is at 0.06. However, the market cap was tiny. It only reached 20 million off launch. But in November, December, it had a very nice rally to 40 million. Now, I do think this will go to at least 80 to 100 million, and I think plus. So if you get in now, you're looking between a 10 to 20x region. I think that's valuable for this project, because what they're building, like I told you, is actually useful. And tech like that is needed in Web3. And because they have such a big ecosystem, people will utilize it. And they have Web2 partnerships as well. So I think it'll do very well. I'm still bullish on it. I did end up buying a decent amount on these lows, and I'm going to hold till it has a decent pump, and then I'm going to exit. So yeah, but I think you'll do very well, my friend. I don't think you have to worry too much about this, just because every single time the market has flipped bullish, it has had very decent pumps. So, and I don't see why it wouldn't do it again once the mainnet is out. Like I said, back over here, or over here, yes, the price action was good because it launched, right? But as a product, as a project, NAI is 100 times better down here than it is over here. Because back then they didn't really have shit. Now they have a mainnet coming out, and then once the mainnet is out, they're gonna start to look to get more exchange listings. They're gonna start to look, to start marketing more. They have like 450 million NAI that they've done through early investors and burns that they're going to use for marketing and exchange listings, and that's a DAO which we get to vote as a community what you want to do with the money. So do you want to get new exchange listings, or do you want more marketing? Give it to KOLs, and KOLs will pump it. That's how it is. So yeah, I'm not concerned about NAI at all, and I think it'll do very, very well. It's just one of the patience play. Is a little bit of a conviction play. So if you don't have conviction, there's no point you holding. But it tends to move very fast, and there's no unlocks till November, and even then the unlocks are small, because it's linear to like 2026. So, and the team's locked up the tokens till like summer 2026. So there's not really going to be much selling pressure, anyways. And right now, there's no selling pressure at all. It's just people that's holding the token for the last God knows how long. It's been in the same range literally since March. Same range. Maybe it has wicks below and just recovers. So I am still very bullish on this, yes. On that note, guys, if you guys don't have any more questions, just to give you guys a summary of what's to come tomorrow, we have inflation numbers tomorrow. So if you're planning on taking trades today, I do not recommend. If you're planning to DCA today, I also do not recommend. I would wait for clarity tomorrow, just because you would rather, if Bitcoin goes down 2-3%, the altcoins are probably going to go down 5 to 6 to 10%. So I wouldn't risk buying something unless you're only DCing small amounts here and there, and you're a long-term investor, you don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. You can invest little amounts here, little amounts when it dumps, if it dumps tomorrow. But I would definitely wait for inflation to come out tomorrow, because the inflation numbers will dictate if Bitcoin will probably go a lot higher, maybe to the 125 region and then cool off, or maybe even the 130 region, or we've overextended and we need to have a little pullback, maybe have a retest of the 114, 113K, and then we end up going higher. So Shadow, good to see you. Greetings from Greece again. DC'd into another week. You know what? I don't blame you, Shadow, bro. I genuinely don't blame you. Most people have been DCAing since fucking 2024, bro. Like, how much DCAs can you realistically do? So I don't blame you at all, bro. DCAing yourself as well at some point, bro. NDC, Decentralized Computing, got a grant from German Gov. Fuck knows, bro. What have they got? Oh, Nuno Cloud. I don't really think these men got shit, bro. And keep in mind, guys, the people that sell in May and go away, those guys are going to return very soon. Yo, this shit is not getting no fucking thingy, bro. Come on, bro. Let's be realistic, bro. Is a German government gonna give a grant to this fucking project, bro? Of course, fucking not, bro. That's some bullshit. It probably doesn't even have a docs team. Oh, it does have a docs team. Verify if these guys are legit. The world's first decentralized mesh hyperscale. Okay. Enabling tomorrow's tech, sustainable computing power. This will be a good trade during the deepin run. If we get a nice deepin pump, this could be a very nice trade in my opinion. I'll keep this on my trade list. Does he have a Mexi? Oh, he has Mexi as well. That's very good. It doesn't even look that bad actually. It has a docs team. Chart obviously looks terrible, which is as expected. I mean, come on. Any coin that has old fucking coin as well. It had a mad rally though. What the fuck? Shit sounds familiar though. But yeah, like I said, so yo, this looks fucked though. I can't lie, the chart looks fucked. If the team is still working, her name is Fizz. Is it? You don't even fucking have a daughter, bro. Stop lying, bro. Selflex, you don't have a daughter, bro. New milestone. The German government has officially approved a grant to co-finance 50% of development costs for. How do you verify this though? How do you verify this? There's no way to verify this shit, bro. Softlex, you don't have a daughter, bro. Stop capping, bro. Come on. There's no development, bro. These guys are why these guys a news article or something. This looks like DCI. This is what DCI was doing before they rugged. I'll be very careful, bro. DCI, all they used to do was for their marketing, they used to post articles that they used to chat GPT it, and they used to post it and they call it marketing. This just looks like these guys some fucking news reporters, bro, just reporting random news. Browser extension turns nearly 1 million browsers. Fuck. What does this have to do with your project? Yeah, skip this one, bro. I'll be honest. Skip this one. These guys, I don't think that's a crypto project. That's probably a news reporter channel, bro. News reporter project. Any idea of Sui agent? Sui agent, I think is a scam, bro. Let's be honest, bro. Anything that has the top chain that was pumping in 2024, and then the top narrative, which was agents, like does that sound like a legit project to you? Sui agents, you couldn't come up with a better name, bro. This is 100% a scam. You know, so I would definitely stay away from this one. Is it the one that I'm thinking of? Yeah, this is 100% a scam, bro. I just don't recommend buying shit like this. Bro, you can just tell a project's a scam just on the name. If something is put in, it's like me saying, let's say Deepin AI is pumping, and I make a project called Deepin AI Sui. Some stupid shit like that, bro. And what am I doing? I'm trying to catch the narrative, make a better money. It's common sense, these type of stuff. And why is this project doing? It launched. I remember this. It launched during the November December hype of AI agents, and Sui was a hot chain, one of the best performing chains, and it just named itself AI Sui agent. And then look at that chart, got fucked because the team dumped it, and then boom, exploded back up because I don't know, it was just I don't know why the fuck this was pumping and then just rugged. What would you do in this situation? I put 2K in OTK. It's now down to $300. Would you rotate into better narrative and get back later? I personally wouldn't, because realistically, gaming is dead anyways. But you're making money back quick on OTK, to be honest with you. If the gaming narrative comes back, if it doesn't, then you can always rotate trade. The thing is like with gaming coins or low caps or degens, you can just do one decent trade, and you'll make your money back very fast. And being down that much, I personally don't recommend selling, because OTK will pump regardless if the narrative comes back or not. I reckon it will still reach maybe 1.5 cents, maybe 2 cents again, maybe 3 cents. But But yeah, I wouldn't recommend selling it now. There's no point because we already seen OTK tends to move fairly well. Now that all the FUD and stuff is over, I would most definitely just keep it, bro. I mean, you can easily get back to these levels, bro. 3-4 cents, you either get break even or you make some money on it. But if the gaming narrative comes back, this will explode. This will explode, bro. You'll probably make 10x on your loss. When I'm watching G, I take the kids out of the living room and put pressure. I need to stop swearing, bro. Your question got deleted by who? It's probably Southflex deleting your question, bro. What was your question? StateX will do well anyway, Southflex. Don't worry about short-term price action, bro. StateX testnet goes live tomorrow, I think. It's probably Southflex deleting your comment. What was your question, though? Oh, it's not you. I don't know them, bro. I didn't delete your comment. But yeah, Southflex, I mean, not Southflex, sorry, StateX. They have their testnet coming out very soon. So, and then they got the launchpad. There's quite a lot of good things coming for StateX. So you have to be a bit patient. They got more listings. Surprised? I mean, hold on. Surprised you Nike do your max 10x, such a low cap. 10x for a main project, which are you top 5 in terms of potential gains? I don't think it would just do just a 10x, but I'd rather be conservative, Jake, and be surprised than be moon boyish and then become a bag holder. You see what I'm saying? So I would rather have conservative price action for all my projects. That way, if it does way more, I'll be even happier. That's the best way to think because you just don't know. This cycle has been so weird and it's been like a trader's market for so. I don't think it'll be a trader's market anymore. I think a lot of people spend the last 6 months realizing it's a trader's market. I told people 4 months ago that it's a trader's market. Start trading, do something on the side to make money. Otherwise, you're just going to become frustrated as fuck. And the people that's been holding and not trading, those people get more and more frustrated because what they see is they see 2 months, the altcoins are for like 2-3 weeks, the altcoins go up and then it just comes all the way back down and they think, oh, bro, I'm not making no money. But the people that trade, they're making money on the side. And then when it comes back down, the money they made on the trading, they can DCA on their conviction plays and they bring the averages down. So then when the market really rallies, which is kind of happening now, they become in profits a lot quicker than the people that just been holding for the last 6 months. You are going to get very frustrated. But the best thing to do, my friend, to not become a bag holder is just to have conservative price actions. So that way, at least you make some money. If I say Nai is going to do a 10x and I take out 30-40% at 10x, I've made money. If I say, no, I'm not going to sell nothing until it does a 20-30x, there's a high chance I'll probably become a bag holder. So do you really want to be taking that risk? I don't. If you just spend, the last year and a half realistically, or the last 6 months, 7 months, not doing shit, the market just been dead. Have conservative price actions. Don't, in a real market, in a very bullish market, I think Nike could do a 20x, 30x, 40x even, because it is a good project. But conservative always wins, my friend. There's going to be another cycle after this where you can still make money. You don't have to become rich in one cycle. The people that chase millions in one cycle end up, 90% down in the bear market. I'm telling you, I know this for experience. I know plenty of people have done that, and they become bag holders. They become frustrated, or they sell too early because they can't take it anymore. Whatever bullshit they come up with, right? Have conservative gains. That way you at least get your initials out, get some profits out. At least you walk away with something. You didn't spend the last 6 months, 4 years, 3 years, whatever, however long you've been in crypto, to walk away with nothing because the greed got to you. So I would be very careful having crazy price actions, bro. The more conservative you are, the more likely you're going to make money in this space, bro. ISX is a solid project, bro. It's a solid project. I don't know. The thing with DEX is DEX will probably have their run, but ISX is a good project overall. Is this the right ISX? Let me have a look. What the fuck is this? Infrastructure to bring financial market on chain. So it's an RWA play. Okay. Coinbase Ventures, UOB Ventures. Hasn't really been doing too much. But look at the volume. That volume is terrible. I don't recommend getting into this. But look at that trade. Look at that TVL. That's some horrible TVL, bro. Bro, log X is 50 times lower than this in market cap. No, 24 times or some shit lower than this in market cap. And this has more than double the TVL. This has TVL is very important. It shows, if people are using the chain or not. Similar narrative DEX. Both of them are DEXs, but this has a lot more TVL. And they expand into RWA soon as well. So if you're going to buy that type of narrative, just buy this, because this is a DEX, but also it is going into RWA. So yeah, no. RWA cooking, which is always good. Very good to see. The more narrative you're in, the more likely you're going to pump at some point. But the low caps will pump last. Low caps will pump last. Both financially, sexually, fucking. Anyways, guys, swear more. I'm not gonna swear no more, bro. I'm not gonna swear no more. I'm not gonna swear no more. The market gets bullish, I tend to swear more, bro. The market gets bearish, I'll be very, very, very good. Sensei, very bullish on Sensei, bro. Still bullish on Sensei. Like I said, House of Crypto will probably drop a video on this tomorrow. So 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see a nice rally tomorrow, bro. I've already been gym today, bro. I've already been gym today. I had a back day today. Anyways, guys, hit the likes on your way out. The market is starting to get bullish. We are going to eventually, from Bitcoin season, we're going to eventually slowly climb on the right side. And then once we get to this region right here, you guys should start to be selling, bro. Everyone should start to sell down here. Even like in the orange, start to DCA out. Am I going to sell? No, I'm waiting, bro. What am I selling for in the Bitcoin season? Money flow is very simple in crypto, guys. Everyone should learn money flow. First, Bitcoin pumps, then the high caps, and then the money flows into the low caps, because what happens is very simple, right? The people that made a bunch of money in Bitcoin, they take profits, and then they move into the high caps because they're very liquid. And then the people that got it, that have been accumulating high caps over the last, I don't know, year, 2 years, whatever, their tokens start to pump. And then what they do is they start to take profits and start to move their money into the mid to low caps. And then the people that's been holding the lower caps, their tokens start to pump. And then eventually everything goes back to Bitcoin or USDT. So learn money flow. Bitcoin leads, Ethereum high caps follow, and then the low caps are like almost towards the end they pump, but they pump the most. So just be patient. We hold low caps, meaning our turn comes, almost last. Obviously, you should always hold some high caps as well. But what about ALTCOINS having a partnership with Google? Yeah, ALTCOINS isn't even that bad, bro. I don't think it's a bad project. They don't have a partnership with Google itself, but it's like a Google incentive program, or like Google Cloud startup, whatever you want to call it. But it's basically a startup program, which is, it's not that impressive, but stuff like this, like AWS and Google, all this is just like a startup program. So they probably give them, I don't know, maybe 20K, 50K, 100K, whatever they get for the startup, just to help the development. And then I don't know what these guys give. Maybe they give tokens, maybe they give money back. But that's all it is. It's just a startup program. But this is very, very similar to HINT Hive. Very similar to Hive. I don't think it's a bad project though. It will definitely pump again. Had a pump here, and I think it will probably pump again at some point. I don't think it's a bad project, my friend. You're not selling. You're never gonna sell Solflex. Agent Tank. Is that project still alive, bro? I traded the shit out of that. How is this project still alive, bro? I'm surprised this is still alive. Yeah, I don't recommend this, bro. It's had a decent pump since June. Yeah, it's following the market, but do I recommend this one? Don't really think so. I have not been checking the developments though, so I can't really speak on this. These type of projects, you have to be following the developments. That's it. If the developments are good, then that's always. Nah, they ain't been developing, bro. They ain't been developing. I don't recommend it. They've posted this bullshit, telling you that it's pumping. Look, Hive's on here as well. Conviction is the key to gains. Shut up. Yo, what the fuck? This is actually kind of great. This is funny. This is. Yeah, I don't recommend buying this, but there's no development. They just keep posting stupid shit about the chart. Yeah, skip this one, bro. I don't recommend you buying this one. Look, if all they're doing is just posting gains of the chart, there's literally no updates at all. Yeah, that just looks like a money grab, bro, honestly. What about Griffin? Is this a good time to buy? Griffin is another one, bro. Like, there's no development at all happening for Griffin. I don't know. People like Griffin is a good coin to trade because it tends to pump with the market because they have the market makers and whales in there. But as like a legit project, I just don't recommend you buying this. But I mean, look how dead the Twitter is. The CEO was launching new tokens the other day. Since April, they haven't posted nothing. I doubt anyone's even using the platform. But because it had this crazy pump initially, now every time the market gets bullish, the same whales pump it, and then when the market corrects, they just dump on the new investors. So I don't really recommend people buying this shit, bro. 50 million market cap as well is not really worth. But yeah, anyways, guys, appreciate all of you guys for coming down. Now that the market has flipped bullish, I will be going live more, posting more videos. You know, maybe dropping some new alerts, whatever, right? Just because markets are going to be a bit more fun now. So, T-Rex, how you doing, my friend? Invested 5K, Sensei 0.01, solid average. Very, very solid average, 0.085, 2K prop, 0.023. What can I do with my last 1K? Brick and Lingo, or if you want to get one more K right now on a project that has not pumped, I would probably say either StateX or Bricken. Either one. Either Bricken. I wouldn't get Lingo unless you want to trade it quickly, you know, in case Finger talks about it tomorrow, House Crypto. But if you want to get something for, you know, a decent hold, I'd probably get StateX. A lot of people say, oh, but StateX is what's it called? The tokenomics are bad or whatever, right? Well, people don't realize that 70% of all early investors in this project have staked their tokens for like fucking 7 years or some shit. Some stupid people, bro. But let's see, where is it? Let's see if I can find it. Where is it gone? GLMO or ZK Sync? None of them, bro. Fuck those tokens. I can't find it, bro, but I'm pretty sure I spoke about it on the AMA. But a majority of the early investors for this token have staked their tokens for like 7 years or something. I'm not too sure why they've done that, but some people, I guess, just love a project, bro. And I don't recommend anyone doing shit like that, bro. Don't recommend anyone doing that. I'm genuinely surprised that people like that, you know, want to hold their tokens for that long. But it's good for us though, because there's going to be less selling pressure, bro. Very, very good for us. But I can't find it, but where is it? Is it NFTs? It's not NFTs. It's a company. It's a VIP member. It's not a VIP member. Why have they got it? They got rid of it on the talk on the website. Never mind. But if you want to put one more K, I'll probably recommend Bricken then. Either Bricken or Statex. Bricken or Statex. And the reason I like Bricken so much, and I'm a big fan of Bricken, is the on-chain data don't lie. If you have a project that has the highest TVL amongst the low caps and has almost double or more than double the TVL the market cap is, that's a very successful project in terms of usage. People are tokenizing using Bricken, and you know that by the total value locks. And by the end of this year, their goal is to reach 50 million, which is quite a lot, for a low cap project. And oftentimes, and patience is required, a project will always, depending on the TVL, will always outperform that by at least 5x, at least. So let's see. Kodak, good to see you, Bo. Neither, my friend, neither. I don't recommend buying any of those. GLMR is ass, and ZK Sync is ass as well. Appreciate that, my friend. Appreciate that. Hit the likes, subscribe as well. I lost 1,000 in A0 and GM and Gamem. Now I only have 500 to invest. Fucking hell, bro. If you won 500 and you lost that much on those shit projects, I would recommend getting some Sensei, bro. Like, this is one of those projects that's not gonna rug pull, a legit generates revenue and will move with the markets. Just get some Sensei. You can't go wrong with Sensei, my friend. It will always pump and it will always continuously develop. Seth, good to see you, bro. Still in ATR, long-term hold trade for you. I'll hold ATR long-term. I will not sell ATR just yet. I think it's a bit too early to sell ATR considering we're still in Bitcoin season. But I think ATR will still explode, bro, because everyone's using it now. People are starting to realize how I think people launder money through ATR, honestly. That's what I think. But yeah, I'm very, very bullish on ATR. Cola is more like a trade. So if you listen to me when I told you to buy Cola, you would have been up 2x from the lows. And Cola is doing very, very well. Look how well he's been doing. It's up 46% the last, it's basically a 2x. 46% from the lows, which is damn near a 2x. Double your money pretty much. So if you got in here at 115, well, I think it went to like 114 something. At the peak on Mexi, it reached like 0.028, which is damn near a 2x. So buy and stake GLMR data. HBVS airdrop is currently on. Well, don't buy GLMR, bro. Do not buy GLMR. This is a very old project. GLMR will only pump, when Polkadot pumps. And I don't really see Polkadot making any waves. Polkadot has been one of the deadest chain this cycle. And you would rather put your money in a successful chain because it will pump. Polkadot, he did have a nice pump in 2024. But since then, what the fuck has he done? Pumped from, it didn't even do a 2x from here, bro. Didn't even do a 2x. I don't recommend buying anything associated with Polkadot. And GLMR is the DEX for Polkadot. So why would you buy it knowing that the chain is dead? You're not going to make no money on GLMR. Just look at the chart, bro. They just look like a coin you're going to make money on. Even in 2024, when the market was very, very bullish, look at this. 15, you done a 2x. Most other high caps are doing 5x's, 10x's. All this done was a 2x. You're not going to make life-changing money at 2x. You'd rather be in fucking stocks at that point, bro. Do I think AI tech reaches all-time high? I think AI tech will reach all-time high, yes. I don't know about market cap, just because look at AI tech in terms of market cap-wise, it's just like 2.5x, 3x away from his all-time high, let's say. Just about 3.5x. However, price-wise is fucking miles away. It's 10x away from all-time highs. Can he reach his all-time highs price-wise at 10x? I think so, yes. That would put it just over $500 million. I think that's very possible because the dilution is minimal. And I don't see why it wouldn't do that, especially with a Binance listing and being the only deep in project in the space that has a real life data center outside of crypto. So I think it will do very well. And they're very good marketers as well. Very good marketers. The volume is insane. You can obviously go heavier because the volume and liquidity is a lot higher. Appreciate it, my friend. How many X do I think StateX can do before the end of the year? I think before the end of the year, being is a low cap, I think StateX will reach 100 to 200 million market cap. That's reasonable in an RWA hype, just because they got big KOLs behind StateX. They got some of the biggest KOLs in the space, and they have a large number of them as well. Big KOLs, celebrities pushing it. They got the CEO of Remax now part of the Web2. Like Remax, let's look at Remax just for you guys to understand how big Remax is. Remax, let's say net worth. Look, the market cap has increased to 276 million. 276 million, for the CEO of Remax. So Remax is a massive company, a massive real estate company. And the CEO of that project has become the CEO of Web2 for StateX. That's massive news. And I think it will do very well. Does AltTrade have any competition? G brings cause concern, at least within the cycle. It doesn't have no competition, though. There's other art projects, but StateX does, AltTrade does other stuff. So there's Rolexes. There's not really competition, I don't think. I haven't seen any, no. It's one of a kind, art traders. Keep AGI or relocate to bear. I think it's better to reallocate to bear ROI. I think it's better. I'm personally keeping mine, but I think you should allocate for better ROI. It will still pump, obviously, with the markets, but I don't know. I was expecting AGI to do phenomenal in the AI agent narrative, but instead it just pumped like 3.5x, which is not really that impressive. Anyways, guys, I did say I was going to get off 10 minutes ago, but hit the likes. There's about 80 of you in the chat. Smash the like button. I will be live regularly now. We can go over tokens. We can pump tokens. We can do whatever, right? And we'll talk about new tokens that are bullish, new narratives that's coming, and you guys can make some good money on that. So Mora, the OG Mora has returned. How you doing, my friend? Yo, Mora, I haven't seen you in a long time, bro. How you been? You seem to come back when the market is bullish. Can you check on TNT? Tomo TG. I'll have a look into it next. Actually, no, I'll have a look. I can't. If it's not on here, then I can't really look at it, my friend. It is on here. Okay. Execute everything anywhere. Small contrast, risk-free bridge. So it's backed by the best. Hawaii Ventures. They're not the best, but okay. Average free. So it's a wallet, basically. The DEX/wallet. Bridge with confidence. Yeah, look, these type of projects, my friend, I don't really recommend investing into. The reason I say that is because you look at, unless there's some utility, which obviously I don't know if there is because I've just had a first glance look, but unless there's some utility on that DEX where it incentivizes people to hold the token, then the reality is there's not even a need for the token. The token is just there for one specific reason, and that is to specifically fund whatever they need on the DEX. That's all it is. Because the DEX is, they generate their money through fees. That's where they're going to make a majority of their money. They have the token for extra money. That's all it is. Like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, why do you need to hold the token when there's no utility? You don't get cheaper fees. You don't get special incentives for holding the token. There's nothing like that. You can probably stake it for some API, but that's it. Every project does that. So, DEXs, unless it has a specific use case for the DEX itself, I don't really see the point of holding on to it. StateX mainly launching Wednesday, yeah, I think that's going to be massive for them, very massive. Because what StateX is doing, because of the launch pad that they're building, every single project that launches on their launchpad will need to have a Statex pair. So if they launch it on Ethereum, they also have to have an Statex pair as well. So what that does is not only does it increase the TVL, but it also increases them. They also get fees as well. So they'll get Statex fees. And then what they do is they use that money to buy back the token. So whatever fees they make, 20 to 30% of the fees or any money they generate on the platform, they use it to buy back the token, which is quite impressive. Goodbye to buy alt is always a good time to DCA some alt, my friend. And the reason I say that is because they have more listings come in, they have the launchpad drop in, they have more chain expansions, new wallet integration, and some big partnerships coming as well. Listen to the AMA. They had an AMA today. Yeah, Hint is a good DCA today. It's a low cap. Don't recommend going in, 1%, 2% max. That's it. I don't recommend people putting large amounts of money into low caps. Just because low caps pump last. They're not going to pump just yet. So just wait, be patient with the low caps. They will pump when the money flows into the low caps. I mean, look at that. It's been doing very well since April. But anyways, guys, hit the likes. Appreciate all of you for coming down today. I'll be live more regularly now as well. I've been taking decent breaks, but got to be live more, during the active times in the market when the market's bullish. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll probably see you guys either tomorrow after the inflation numbers come out, and then we'll talk about what's happening. Or I'll probably be live on Wednesday. But most likely I'll be live tomorrow for like 1 hour pretty much. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Smash the like. See you guys very soon. Bye-bye.